Hey BC, David again. Alrighty, this is the one that everybody was asking for. My music room tour. What better place to start than with my turntable and my whole setup here. It's made up of a whole bunch of different components. It's actually a bit of a mashup of a system really. But each piece does their part, does their job really well. Sounds great. Looks kind of cool too. So what I'm going to do is I'll edit in and we'll show you each piece up close and personal. So here we go. Alright, so the first piece of the puzzle is the turntable itself. You'll notice that I've got Ace Frehley's solo record on the table at the moment. That's for LJ. It was LJ's birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, LJ. I told you I'd rock some Space Ace for you tonight, so there you go, there's the proof. So the turntable that I've got is, the brand is a Project. It's a Project 2.9 turntable, one of their wooden versions. And it's certainly very clean. There's not a lot of fuss with how it works or how it looks. There's no switch for changing RPM rates from 33 to 45. It's actually all done old school. I'll stop it here just for a sec. And we'll take space off the table for a sec. So it's, in order to change speeds, you have to lift the platter completely off. And then as you can see now, we've got it's all belt driven, and so changing the speeds, I just need to relocate the belt on the cog here. But it's all very simple. It's all very well made. It's a very easy turntable to use. Looks cool. Still got the cover for it if you want to keep some dust off the records as they play. But I tend to play them with the cover up. Seems to help the sound a little bit. So that's the turntable. My tone arm is fairly standard for the model. It's weighted quite nicely actually, and certainly does its job. And I have a Shure cartridge on at the moment. I'd like to upgrade that eventually, but for the time being, that's works pretty well. It actually has a brush on the cartridge just forward of the needle. So when the record's spinning and the needle's dropped, the brush in front of the needle actually pre-cleans the record as it plays, which is really cool. So that's the turntable. Let's move on to some of the other components. Here we have my Phono stage. It's a Micro Omega My Groove Phono stage. Again, like the turntable, it's fairly basic in its operation. Basically just communicates between the speakers and the amp, but does a good job of it. And certainly it's something that I might obviously want to upgrade in the future, but for the time being it does a good job. So there we go, there's the Phono stage. Okay, now I'm going to move on to possibly the coolest part of my system, at least visually. Here we go. Here's possibly the coolest looking component in my whole system. It's my Yarland M84 valve amp. I mean, which self-professed guitar geek doesn't want a valve amp for their sound system? Count it. 7 tubes. They all light up orange. That's cool. This particular amp has a switch for auxiliary and CD inputs, master volume, and also a switch here. It's a feedback switch, which actually adds an extra little kick of feedback or bass, I guess. So if you're listening to Ace Frehley, for example, switching this up is mandatory. So that's my amp. Obviously, it's a component that I'll eventually upgrade at some point. But again, like the Phono stage, for the time being, it certainly does its job. And it's definitely a conversation starter. Everybody that sees it is either completely perplexed by it, or they just think it's cool. So there's my amp. So let's move on to the newest addition to my system, my brand new speakers. Here's the newest piece in the puzzle that is my sound setup. Brand new handmade speakers, brand called Hoyt Bedford, handmade in Cincinnati. And this is their Type 1.5 speaker. It's a single driver speaker, and the sound that it generates is really fantastic. It's really well suited to vocals and to singing. The clarity is really fantastic. Really well made speaker. Here's a bit of a look at the case. It's got a nice natural veneer on it. I'm really happy with these speakers. They're just really well put together, sound fantastic straight out of the box. And actually, I'd be interested if anyone else in the VC has Hoyt Bedford speakers themselves. I'd be interested to get some feedback on them from others as well. So there's my speakers. So there you have it. There's my full setup for the time being. Great system, great sound. What more could I want? All right, so let's now move on to a few things that happen behind the scenes, and I'll show you where I store some of my vinyl and a few other bits and pieces. Alrighty, here we go. Alrighty, here's a bit of behind the scenes action. This is my main storage cupboard. Got a whole bunch of stuff in here, mostly DVDs, some CDs, a bunch of memorabilia and things on the top shelf that you can see there, a few box sets. If we move down, you can see all the DVDs there and just a few CDs. I've only got just a few CDs here at the moment. And down to a bunch of books. So this is my main storage area. Down the bottom here I've got some vinyl too, so I'll just show you those. Okay, so here we have the bottom shelf of the storage cupboard that you just saw. This is where I keep probably just a little bit over half of the vinyl that I have. Certainly it's not a huge collection yet. I've been collecting vinyl for probably about a year and a half, a little bit over. So it's not huge, but I like to think that it's pretty damn good. So you can see there's still some room here. And oh look, on the right there's my box sets. I spy a Rush box set. I think I'm going to do a live opening of that one on video soon. That's just come in. So there we go, there's the bottom shelf in my cupboard here. And now I'll go and show you where the rest of them are. Alright, here we have effectively the remainder of my vinyl collection. It's the other half, and it's in another wardrobe. So it's actually, at the moment, it's completely out of order. I've just got things pretty well all over the place at the moment, but I'll just show you some of the titles that are here. Don't know who that band is. So certainly relatively modest collection at the moment, but definitely a very cool one that I try and make as eclectic or as diverse as possible. And yeah, definitely have a lot of fun listening to records. One of my favourite pastimes. So there we go. There's just a glimpse at some of the stuff that's on the shelves. Alright, there you go, VC. That completes the music room tour. Thanks for checking it out. Nothing left to do but play some tunes.